But Utkarsh, I mean, let me just kick off the discussions. I went through a brief of you over the internet and understood a little bit of you. There's not too much about you. I was impressed that you even have a website.
Yes.
So not a lot of athletes even take an attempt to have their own website. So yes, kudos to you. I think you are trying your best to be there, to be known to people, bring your achievements to the fore, etc. But tell me more about yourself, about your family first, because all the credit starts right from there on the top.
Yeah.
How did you get into this particular journey where you are now? Give us a small
So
brief.
yeah, I think that part which you said about having a website and me portraying my result, that entire thing goes to my parents, because I'm not much of a guy that likes to put it out there. I prefer to just keep it with myself and people that like know me.
Right,
But I
right.
think that my dad built that website. He's
Okay,
a software engineer. Both my parents are software engineers.
wonderful.
So he built that website up, and they have a really important role in showcasing my talents, because when it comes to that, I honestly am very uncomfortable doing that,
Right,
because it's just been that way since the beginning.
right.
And how I got into the sport, well, I was, I think, 3 years old, 3 4 years old, and we had this swimming pool in our apartment. We lived in Whitefield in Bangalore that time, and we had this pool, and I always loved the water aspect of it, as you get that sense of peace when you're in the water. You
Yeah, yeah.
like it, you start to deafen out the noise.
Right.
And I was never afraid of the deep. So even as a young kid, like a toddler, I
Right.
just want to jump into the deep with my life jacket on, obviously. And there was one summer where I did the same. My parents were out for work, but the problem was I couldn't blow air into my life jacket,
Mm.
and
Okay.
I jumped into the pool without anyone there, without any air in my life jacket. And I thought there was air in it because I was a kid, I didn't know any better. And I kept swimming until my parents found out. So yeah, that's how I actually figured it out. I figured how to swim on my own. And then from there I joined a summer camp. And I think that's where some coaches started observing that I can pursue this sport professionally. And
Okay.
back then in Whitefield, we didn't have much competitive pools, the 50-meter Olympic size pools.
Yeah.
So we shifted to Baswangudi and Jayanagar,
Okay.
and there I joined PMSC, where I was training until 2014, and then I joined Baswangudi Aquatic Center, which is a Khelo recognized center, and I've been under my coach John Christopher since then.
Okay.
And then now I'm planning on going abroad to University of Indiana in the US
Yeah.
to pursue my swim program as well as my studies. So
Studies.
yeah,
Yeah. Superb. I think in a very small brief, you pretty much outlined your journey. Interesting. You mentioned about uh, starting from the age of 3. You know,
yeah,
so that is amazing. Yes, I mean water does give kind of a stillness in life.
yeah,
There's a lot of noise outside. The moment you go inside, you feel that you are still, you're calm, and there's the whole noise and the clutter is cut off already. So yes, I mean, yeah, fascinating to hear that perspective from you. In terms of your preparation, so from the age of 3 to reaching Jayanagar, as you said, aquatic center,
yeah.
for professional swimming coaching with John. What was the transition like? Of course, it must be in small phases. You must have started at 3. You might have taken one level up. What was that 1 or 2 or 3 levels you went through by the time you reached to John?
Yeah. So I started swimming on my own, like I said, on three when I was 3 years old. But then I think up until age 9, 10, I was just enjoying the aspect of the sport, and I think that's really important that you fall in love with the sport before you fall in love with the professional aspect of it. So it was just me going wherever I could, like Goa, be it Goa or water theme parks, just me enjoying water itself at its pure form. And then I came to I think I joined when I was 9 or 10 to PMSC, and then I trained competitively for I think a year and a half,
Okay.
and then I won my first national medal. I think it was I we won 2 golds, 2 silver, and 2 bronze. My
So
first junior national.
that was in junior nationals. Okay.
Yeah, junior nationals.
So that is different from Kelo India, right?
Yeah, Khelo India is different. So then we the pool was closed down due to some maintenance, and I joined Baswangudi Aquatic Center, and then I came under John Christopher,
Mhm.
and since then it's been a really it's been a progress. I got I was doing well in nationals as it was, and then in 2019, I think we had our Asian age group. So in that I won 2 silvers, and it happened in Bangalore.
Okay.
And then after that we had a lot in plan. We had some camps figured out for me to attend to, but then unfortunately COVID happened, so everything was
Right.
held back, and swimming was a sport that was kept on a tight leash because of the spread of COVID. So we couldn't do much. But then I think by the end of it, when it started to ease out a bit, we started getting into the water, and then we had our South African national camp in 2022.
Okay.
So we went there for a training camp, and then we took part in the South African nationals as well. And many countries took part because it was an open invitation,
Okay.
and that was an open category. So like people from every age group, from every background could race in that. And I won a bronze in that. And then the 23 happened. I think in 22 as well. I won a couple of medals in Khelo India. That was the first time I won something in Khelo India. And then in 23, um, I was really focused on my 12th. So I didn't race from up until national games that happened in 22 November or October, where I think I broke a national record, and then up until the end of CBSE 12th boards, there was no competitions lined up for me.
Right.
Yeah, so I was really focused on getting my
12.
grades in, and yeah,
Right.
because that was important for my US application.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So after that, we started our work again. So I qualified for the Youth Commonwealth, I think 3 weeks back,
Awesome. Okay.
and yeah, I'm currently in the senior nationals, which will be a qualification for the World Juniors.
My God. So you have so many achievements in such a short span of time, Utkarsh. You're just in grade 12. You passed already grade 12. I think the results are not out yet or out
No,
already.
no, I graduated.
Okay. Super.
Yeah,
Congratulations on that as well.
thank you.
So your journey to Indiana now. So what is there in the plans? Of course, I mean US has amazing infrastructure, etc.
Yeah,
You get a lot of professional coaching and all of that. It's a different league of sporting athletes over there in swimming, especially all the top swimmers
yeah.
in the world, like Michael Phelps and all, pretty much originate from there. Um, what do you have in mind? What baggage are you carrying to the US?
Um, I I honestly want to go with the mindset that no one knows me.
Okay,
Not with the mind like technically no one knows me. Right, back home, yes, people know me. At least the swimming fraternity knows me.
how's your yeah,
Yeah, and for my achievements. But when I'm going there, I'm going with the mindset that I've got to start from scratch.
sure.
Like no one knows me. I've got to make a mark. So
So
I've got to build from the ground up. So that's what mindset I have going in.
right, right. And have you kind of how did Indiana happen? Was it like intentionally you applied there with all the set of credentials, or there was support from your coach? I mean, what's the because I'm not just you. I know a lot of athletes in India, the emerging athletes, they do tend to find US very attractive.
Yeah,
And I know a lot of tennis players as well, badminton players. They apply, they settle down, and after they complete their education, they come back
yeah,
and continue their sporting journey from India. But that 4 or 5 years which they spend over there is second to like none. I mean, in a way. So how did you, I mean, apply? What was the process like? Did your coach help? How did the fraternity or maybe the application process was like?
Yeah, so to be honest, like I don't think any coach will be fine with their student
Yeah,
going
student
anywhere
good.
else.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But he's been a really supportive coach because he understands what I need, right? So he, even though he's sending me off, he's making sure that I'm ready to take on the workload
Yeah.
that they have, because their workload is way more compared to ours.
Yeah.
So we don't, I don't lift heavy, we don't do a lot in the gym, but they do. So it's a really good transition
Right.
because the workload is going to be enormous, and so he's preparing me to be able to take that on. And
Right.
as far as my application went, I was procrastinating the entire year. I think November 1st was a deadline, and I was just procrastinating, telling my mom that I have on my common app, that we used to send out our applications. It's an app called Common App. So I was telling my mom that I'm doing everything, even though I was doing nothing. I was just telling my mom, ki, "Ha, ye chal raha hai, is going on." But then I think we then my mom got a hold of me, and one day we had a fight. We had a pretty big fight, and then yeah, she made sure that you know she didn't say do it, but
Okay.
she just put everything in perspective, where you are, like you've been procrastinating everything for such a long time, and then everyone's getting their commitments done already.
Right.
And I wasn't sure because I didn't know it was so late by the time it was. And I wasn't sure if like everyone I spoke to, every single counselor I spoke to told me that getting into a D1 school, a Division 1 school in the US, that's like one of the best swim programs ever.
Right.
That's gonna be impossible because you've applied so late.
Right.
But then I think what we decided as a family was, there's no harm in trying. Even if you get in, you don't get in, that's secondary. At least it wouldn't make sense not to try.
Right. Was there any specific category you applied? Because you have done excellent in swimming,
Yeah.
sports, etc. Was there any scholarships or any kind of uh, privileges which, as an athlete, which you get over there? Probably
Yeah.
one of the attractions moving to the US.
Yeah. So I shortlisted 7 universities in total. I
Okay.
think I got into 4 of them. Two I didn't, and one was unresponsive.
Okay.
So these universities that I shortlisted were based completely on swimming.
Okay. Okay.
So I saw the NCAA's, which are the
Yeah.
competitions in the US, and I wanted to see the swim programs, and I decided Indiana was one of the best because they have a huge international presence. Or
Yeah.
that, and I don't know how to say it, but I got in pretty easily, even though I didn't expect to.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
When things work out, it just works out. I mean, you don't have to. I mean,
yeah,
your hard work, your luck, everything falls in place, and then you suddenly realize because
yeah,
when you are in the motion of doing things, you don't tend to at times give a lot of credit to yourself. But I think
yeah,
all the credit goes to you because if the application has been accepted, you have given the verbal commitment to them, joining them for sure. I think it's all because of the medals and the glory uh, which you have got over the number of years. Excellent. I mean, we really wish you uh, an amazing journey in the US. Have a great time.
Thank you, sir.
We will want you to come back because
Yeah,
and get all the talent, the skills, and as you rightly pointed out, the environment, the infrastructure does amazing help. Come back and represent the country as and when you get an opportunity. So come back to some of the other aspects of our discussions, which is primarily around coaching.
yeah,
Casual swimming and professional swimming are two different uh,
yeah,
completely, right? Now, what's the process of that transition? How do you determine yourself as a casual swimmer, and then suddenly you realize that this is I want to do. This is the regime I need to follow because professional competitive swimming is tough. You have to have you're doing your studies. You have to find time. You have to go school, come back, pack your bags, go for swimming again, come back. Then you have your school stuff, homeworks or whatever, assignments, exams. Um, how did you manage and cope up? What was your routine like, schedule like?
yeah. So Um, it all starts at 5:30, like 5 o'clock. I wake up at 5,
Okay.
and then my mom's up before that actually. So kudos to her.
Okay.
She's up before that. She makes that I have some shake before getting ready for the pool. And she makes all that. And my dad used to drive
Right.
me the pool, but now I live close by, so I just walk.
Just walk through.
So yeah, it used to be 5:30 to 8:30 swimming, and then from there directly school until 2:20 or 3 o'clock,
3 o'clock. Yeah.
and then I used to come back, have a snack, and sometimes I used to have my gym session for some core, just body weight training, and then pool session used to start from 5 to 7:30 again.
In the
And
evening.
yeah, in the evening.
So you are training almost 5-6 hours a day.
Yeah.
And how about your like normal daily studies? Because when you
Yeah.
are doing your 11th and 12th, there's the amount of studies you have to do is also quite a bit.
Yeah. So I didn't in classes, at least up until 11th and 10th, I didn't have a problem focusing in the class. So I always believe that you don't need to study a lot if you pay attention in class,
Yeah.
because you revise everything the next day, and then you begin the class from there anyway. So I didn't do a lot at home, honestly. I couldn't. I was exhausted by the time I came home, so I didn't study a lot at home. Just paid attention to class, and I developed a friend circle that would help me in class. So any questions, any queries, I'd go to those friends, and they would help me out. And 12th was interesting because it was like it isn't like 10th, 11th.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so that was and I took science on that. So it was a challenge in the start because I didn't attend school up until I think August, September. I was
Okay.
busy with my
And
South
science.
African nationals and
Yeah.
Halo India junior nationals, whatnot. So by the time I came and started learning, like I couldn't understand one thing. Like it was like alien to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had to work really hard in the end couple of months. I think January and February. I cut down my swimming sessions from two a day to one a day. I just went in the mornings, and then I used to, squeeze in as much as I could.
As you could.
Just yeah,
Yeah, I mean that's true. I mean, depending on the severity and depending on the situations, I see that you managed to switch your schedule, but making sure that 3 hours in the morning is something which you definitely
yeah,
give to swimming as something you really want to do. And in those practice sessions, the 3 hours of practice sessions, let's talk about the first in the morning 3 hours. What is your practice schedule like? Do you plan it yourself, or your coaches have given you a schedule to, because you do different strokes. Some of them are longer ones, like you start with warm up, you
yeah,
do 300, 400, and then sprinting and endurance and all that stuff. What is your schedule like when you practice?
yeah. So I think we get into the water at 6:30. So
Okay.
from 5:30 to 6:30, it's basically you
Right.
run a bit,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
then you do a lot of core exercises just
Yeah.
to get some stability on the core, and then warm up is pretty universal throughout.
Okay.
It's maybe a 1 kilometer warm up. We do that every session. But when it comes to the sets, we have no idea what it's gonna be, and I think Sir likes to keep it that way because he doesn't want us mentally prepared for the set.
Okay.
Otherwise, if you know the set beforehand, a lot of swimmers just tend to ease into the set because if it's a big set, the first couple of
Right.
first 50 or 75% of the set isn't gonna be that productive.
Right.
The last
Yeah,
25,
if you know the set, you can plan ahead of time. So I think
yeah,
he just wants to keep it random, and you know your
yeah,
muscles and the body should reflect at the moment when you are swimming, not predetermined, and your mindset
yeah,
is pretty much fixated. Okay, interesting.
yes.
And
So
yeah, please carry on. Sorry.
yeah, so it's just that he gives us a set that you have to go all out no matter what. He won't tell you what's the next set or what's coming after that. So for you at the moment, or at least for me at the moment, it's just that particular little set,
Mhm.
and my job is to just do as well as I can in that small little set without thinking what the next
Yeah, yeah.
that's gonna be.
And also it's interesting because so literally 1 hour of dry land you call it, which is
Yeah.
um, before getting into the pool, and then 2 hours of intense swimming in the morning.
Mm.
You come back. Do you still have energy left to go to school?
Yeah. No, I could manage. Somehow I could.
Okay.
I think school was a good place. Socialize. I didn't have a lot of huge social life because
Okay.
I couldn't go. I didn't go out with my friends. I couldn't do anything. I
Right.
didn't want to. It's like my parents would force me to go out during Saturday, Sundays. Just go out with friends. You don't do normal teenager stuff.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah, but I wasn't interested in that. Still, I'm not. It doesn't appeal to me
Yeah.
as much as
You're
I.
you're one of the rarest ones. Rare or the rarest is
Yeah.
somebody when parents are saying go out, jao, khel karke aao, have fun, but then you're saying no, I don't want to. And I think that's the dedication which kind of brings you here where you are at this point in time. And anything about you want to mention about your gym routines or your workout routines, because and you are in an early age, you're not like 26,
Yeah.
27 where you do intense workouts, heavy duty gymming.
Hmm.
At this age, probably yes, I mean, you would have definitely grown up in the way you gym
Yeah.
or the way you manage your workouts. But how was it when you started and where you are now in terms of your workouts, fitness?
Yeah. So I was great. I'm actually thankful that my parents didn't force me into lifting heavy at an early age. I still don't lift at all.
Okay.
I think that's something that a lot of parents do in the swimming, in the sport of swimming.
Right.
I didn't touch a weight until I was like 15, 16.
Okay.
I was just it was just my body weight. And
Okay.
I don't lift a lot. I don't do any heavy stuff.
You use your body weight to
Yeah.
make sure you do all those workouts, which is
Yeah.
centric. Okay.
So it's just me trying to control my body
Yeah.
before I even. So I need to learn how to control my body before I can add any
It's
resistance
okay.
to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I currently I'm at I work with this gym company called Invictus Sports Performance,
Yes.
and
I know that.
yeah. So we work to make sure that I'm in the best shape possible without doing as much as possible. So it's minimal workout, maximum result.
Exactly.
And yeah, so and they're also working with me to make sure I'm ready to take on the workload at Indiana, because I think I saw this video, and I need to mention it. They were doing these weighted pull-ups and they were just cranking them. And then I just struggled to do like 8 or 10 normal pull-ups. So
So how do you think you're gonna manage? Any plan or strategy in mind कि अभी बस जाना है और आंख बंद करके जो बोलेंगे करना है बस.
हाँ बस वही करना है. Well, like the horse shit, just gotta do.
Okay, okay. So mentally, at times it can get disturbing, right?
Yeah.
Because when you travel, not just for your studies, let's say you're in South Africa or you're traveling to some other country to play, your
Mm.
parents maybe or maybe not with you. You go through a different set of routines, practice, different set of environment, different food. Some of the things maybe not to your liking, uh,
Yeah.
but then you reconcile things. You talk to yourself, calm yourself down. It teaches a lot, and I think having gone through so many competitions and travels and everything else, I'm sure you have that resistance in you now. Is
Mm.
you can talk to yourself, and then sometimes people say कि जिद्दी होना भी जरूरी है. So you become like, no, I
Yeah.
can manage, I can do it. And in sports, you need a lot of stubbornness.
Yeah.
And in time-sensitive sports, especially like swimming, where even a second or a fraction of a second matters,
Yeah.
uh, these things does impact you. But initially, when you started going out such an early age, parents travel करते थे साथ में या फिर you used to travel alone? How was it?
No, no, no. My parents are still with me. I think, but बोलते हैं ना अभी anyway I'm leaving in 1 month, so I'm trying to spend as much time as I
Much
can
time.
with them.
No, but I mean, early age when you were traveling for competitions, tournaments, तो वो साथ
Yeah.
में travel करते थे?
हाँ, हाँ.
They will
I
always
was, I was never alone.
never alone.
Even during the Asian age, they stayed in another hotel because they weren't allowed to stay with the team. But
Okay.
yeah, then I was always made sure of their presence around me.
Right, right. So probably you must be the first time when your parents will not be
Yeah, I'll
around
be
you.
alone for the first time. Yeah.
No, fair enough. I think that's good. How about your diet? We didn't talk much about it, like your fooding habits. Do you even have cheat meals or जो भी रूटीन बना दिए कोच ने बनाए या मॉम ने बनाए कैसे हाउ डू यू प्लान
No, yeah. So again, you told me it's one of the rare cases. Again, this will come into that.
right
Uh, my parents never forced me into any diets. Like there, I think as a person, I'm very conscious about what I eat.
what do you
Like, yeah, I don't like to, even though it tempts कि खाना है, ये कुछ खा लूं. Like, nahi, like you feel guilty after eating. So and I don't like that sensation ki, guilt feeling. So I just try to stay away from it. But my mom knows that and she can't stay away from seeing me want that food. So yeah, so she keeps forcing me to eat some chocolate or some ice cream here and then.
yeah
But yeah, I have had some encounters with nutritionists. And to be fair, I think till now my mom's been the best one. So घर का ही खाना खाता हूँ. My mom, my cook, they prepare the food and then I just eat that.
सो आपने कोई न्यूट्रिशनिस्ट रखा है अपने साथ या फिर
फिलहाल के लिए नहीं.
फिलहाल के लिए नहीं सो यू हैव बीन जस्ट फॉलोइंग योर ओन इंस्टिंक्ट एंड what to eat,
No,
what not to eat.
yeah. So I the nutritionist I was with, I
Okay.
think they made an outline of um what percentage of protein or carbs or what you need for the training sessions. And I think the food isn't very restricted, but we try to inculcate the core carbohydrates or protein the same amount into my diet.
Right. And so what's the source of protein? I mean, are you non-veg or are you a
Yeah,
vegetarian?
yeah, I'm a non-vegetarian.
So what do you consume as a source of protein in
So I
your
have, I think, red meat once a week.
okay.
Other than that, chicken and fish 2 to 3 times a week.
So that pretty much takes care of. And
Yeah.
what's the body weight Utkarsh at the moment? Because body weight
um
is
I'm around 70 kgs.
excellent. And I mean, Harshita, you have any questions to ask?
Yeah. So, Utkarsh,
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, participating in this national championships can be quite, I would say, it can be quite, it's impressive, though it can, there must be a lot of challenges that you must have faced during these competitions.
Yeah.
So, what were some of the challenges that you overcame, and I mean, how did you overcome from it? How was
So
it, like the
yeah,
journey?
so initially I think when I was 10 or 9, I didn't like competitions. I didn't like that the butterfly feelings in my stomach. I just hated it. I didn't want to do it, but I think over a period of time, I don't know how, but I started enjoying the competitive aspect of it. So even now, and I think in every sport, every competition, there's the trash talk involved. There's your competitor is trying to get into your head and sledging you. I think that for me that helps me a lot. Like it helps me. I think I'm one of those that need a certain level of trash talk, and I need some people to say that you can't do it. So that just helps me concentrate more. And yeah, it adds like fuel to the fire. Honest.
Okay. Okay. Also, okay. So I wanted to know, what's your intake right now? Like in the swimming industry right now. Who do you think are like some of the key players, like emerging key players? Like, is there any role model that you have right now?
In terms of swimming, I think I like to look at how people view the sport as
Okay.
a swim, and I have a couple. I think Ian Thorpe, Australian swimmer Ian Thorpe, Michael Phelps, and Caleb Dressel, and these three had completely different views on swimming. Ian was he had this really I think I resonate with him the most. He had this really personified aspect of the water, and he showed that the water is. He tried to say it as a living thing where you need to work with it. Whereas Michael Phelps was different. He said he doesn't care what the water is like. He just wants to go and do his stuff. And both of them were really into swimming. Whereas Caleb, I think, he likes to focus on the part that there's a life aside from swimming. So I like to take these role models from everywhere, these different mindsets, and try to use them in the best way possible.
As part of your strategy. Okay, that's great. That's great. So Sanket, that's all from my end.
Yeah. Utkarsh, just a
If you
couple of
have any
things.
other questions?
Yeah, couple of things, Utkarsh. And coming back to your swimming,
Yeah.
out of the four strokes,
Hmm.
fly, free, rest, and back. Which are the ones, or you pretty much everything you do, or you have some picks of your own where you think that you probably do the best?
No, I race majorly in backstroke and butterfly,
Okay.
but I don't train breaststroke at all. But freestyle is involved in every swim practice for everyone.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's basically free breast, free back and fly that I train, and I race only back and fly at the moment.
You race only back and fly. Any
Yeah.
specific reasons, or you think that's the strength you carry?
Yeah, I've been comfortable racing backstroke and fly for some time. So especially the 200 meters, I think I'm really comfortable.
200 meters fly or 200 meters
Both,
both? Okay.
both.
And
So yeah,
so, what do you think? 200 meters needs a lot of stamina and a lot
yeah,
of perseverance compared to 50, which is very like speeding up and endurance and all that stuff.
yeah.
Uh, you don't participate in 50 at all, is that correct? Or
I take part in I think at the moment I'm racing five ends. It's 50, 100, 200 backstroke and 100, 200 fly. And for me, 50 really I don't like to race that much because it just gets over in a fraction of a second. Like yeah, you don't even get to know when the race is
is that
over.
is that a strategy which I see a lot of emerging players, and we follow Vedant as well very closely. And you, is that a reason why you guys go for the longer ones? Because the longer formats, because the competition gets little tougher there, and you guys can make the cut and be able to perform at that level. Because 50 has huge amount of competitions, huge amount of people coming in.
Yeah.
There's a massive run up to 50, but not many can sustain 200, 300, 1500, those kind of levels. Is that any thought which is going on in the mind, anything of that nature?
No, I honestly would prefer if there are more competitions in the 200 because
Okay,
it's just a preference for me actually. The
okay,
50, I like to control the race. So
okay.
in the 50 you can't do much really. It's just 150. Whereas in a 200 there's the first, second, third, and fourth
You can
leg.
plan better. Is that where you're
Yeah,
coming from? So like,
yeah,
okay, so you will always have a second chance or the third chance to you know outpace somebody, or strategize in a way that you can always cover up, etc.
yeah. And it's also more about the 200. I feel is where you use everything. So in a 50 or 100, it's more of speed and power, less endurance. A longer distance is less power, it's more of endurance. Whereas in the 200, there's no room for going slow.
Going
So it's
slow.
endurance, speed, and power. So you
Pretty
have to
much.
use everything. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So your best in backstroke 100 meters yet is 57.6.
Yeah.
What is the best in fly 100 fly
My best in fly is 56 1.
for 100
Yeah.
and free?
Free, I don't
You
race,
don't
but
know. Okay,
yeah, rest time I think in the practice or some trials I've gone a 52 1.
52 for
Yeah.
100.
Yeah.
It's already quite competitive, frankly.
Yeah.
Because anything in the range of, I think for 50, normally 22, 20, 25, we call it, is already very competitive. And in 200, if I may ask you, 200 back and fly?
Yeah, 200 back is 2046 and the same time for 200 fly as well. So they're the same times.
Okay. Awesome. Any of the players you want to recommend, Utkarsh? Any other players you want to, or you probably training along with them, playing along with them, traveling along with them? You keep a focus on कि यार ये अच्छा ये लड़का अच्छा करता है. Because normally in groups, if you want to travel, all the really good talents going along with you, you get to learn a lot from them.
Yeah.
They might be using some tricks in the book. तो वो लोग पकड़ते हैं, catch करते हैं, and then you try to replicate. So who are the people you normally look at?
So I've had these couple of swimmers that really, as a kid, I'm a junior compared to them, but like whenever I ask some questions, they're always ready to, help me out. So I think Shiva Sridhar is one of them. Tanish George,
Shivash, is it?
yeah, Shiva Sridhar, and another one is Tanish George Matthew,
No, Tanish Shivash, yeah.
yeah, and then Sajan Prakash as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So any questions related to the sport, they're always there helping me.
We are always helping you.
Yeah.
Any of the sponsors you have at the moment, Utkarsh? Any sponsors?
I'm I'm under scholarship from Khelo India and I think Indian Oil, but that's pretty much it.
And since how long?
I think from last year. Khelo India, I think from 2020, but Indian Oil, I think from last year.
How has been the association? I mean, they help you with all the travels and kits and whatever.
We get a kit. We get I think we get the jersey from the association, but travel for nationals you have to accommodate yourself.
So apart from the kit, no other significant help coming from their side. Is that correct?
Yeah, more or less, but they help a lot in training aspects. So
Yeah, they help a lot in training, and that actually is a big part of the journey, isn't it?
Yeah.
True. You had, and for Khelo India, I mean, if I may ask you, this is just a random. Because I'm based in Singapore, I'm not based in India, so
okay.
I don't have much of an Indian context. But I just wanted to understand what's the way you participate in Khelo? You submit the applications, and then or they invite agencies of where you practice and where you coach to come in and participate. What's the process like?
I think there are three actually. One is the School Games Federation of India. So they have an annual meet where you qualify for the Khelo India.
Okay.
Other than that, the nationals, your junior and senior nationals, I think from that they select. So yeah, you have to really compete in order to take part in Khelo India.
Okay.
And then I think every state has, I think, a certain number of players that they can send if they are hosting. So example, if Karnataka is hosting the Khelo India, they can have 2 to 3 spots for their own players.
Okay. So you tend to give more opportunity to your own state players at the same time.
Yeah, they get a small amount of advantage if they are hosting.
Okay.
Yeah, so if they are hosting, they can, any state that hosts, they can add, I think, add 2 players of their own.
Got it. No, I think this has been. Thanks for giving us those lot of insights into how these things work, because there's a difficult things for us to actually go in and check what's the qualification process like, what's the selection process like. And as I see, all of them are multi-layered, and you have to really be excellent in your job to be able to get through some of those. So next month, actually, you're flying to the US.
Yeah.
Everything sorted out? Your bookings, your accommodations, all set?
Yeah, so I got my visa done. We are leaving on July 30th to Trinidad for the Youth Commonwealth. And then I leave directly from the games to Indiana because it's anyway halfway.
Yeah, Trinidad is not very far from.
Yeah. So from there I leave directly. I haven't booked the flight yet, but
okay.
I think I've got the roommate and dorm set up at the university.
And your parents are coming with you?
Initially for the first 2 months, I think first month they'll be there. For me to settle in here.
So for any of your siblings, you have any brothers, sisters?
I'm an only child.
Okay, perfect. Thanks a lot, Utkarsh. I think pretty much I'm done from my side. Such a pleasure talking to you. And one of the reasons is because we don't talk to a lot of players in your age group. who is still trying to come in, fight the system, convince different stakeholders at different levels, and then make a point. We wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir.
To Indiana, to Trainer, make sure you do well. We will cheer up for you. We will try and cover that as much as we can.
Yeah,
And possibly when you are done, we will catch up with you when you're in the US.
sure, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So have a great day ahead. Convey our gratitude to your parents, because of course
Yes.
they have been the pillars of your strength. All right, and we'll see you soon.
Yes,
All
sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Arshit.
Yes. Bye bye.
Have a good day.
Bye.